Hey everyone, I've been meaning to do a look using the Missy Lynn palette and I really like the purple from the palette, so that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. So if you want to see how I got this look, keep on watching. So starting off with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I'm applying this to my lid so that the eyeshadows stick and last all day and don't crease. Then I'm using the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and this is just going to make the eyeshadows appear brighter. And I'm taking this gold shade from the palette and I'm going to use this as my brow bone highlight. It's just a really nice shimmery gold. And then taking this shade as my transition colour, but I added a bit of an orange shade just so that it pops a little bit more on my lids. And this is just going to go as my transition colour, and I'm just blending this with a blending brush. I think I applied a bit too much there, but you get the idea. Now this step is optional. I applied a purple base. This is a purple gel liner from Sigma, and this is just going to help for the eyeshadow, the purple eyeshadow, to appear more vibrant. But since I already applied the Jumbo Pencil, I kind of didn't need to do this step, but I'm doing it anyway. And then from the Sleek palette, I'm using this dark purple eggplant shade, and I'm going to apply this to my crease, and this is just going to intensify the look and just create that deepened crease. Now going in with the purple shade from the palette, and I'm going to apply this all over my lid using a large shader brush from Makeup Addiction Cosmetics. I'm just patting it into my crease and creating that artificial crease, as you can see, using a flat brush. Then I'm going to be doing my inner tear duct with this gold shade, and then I decided I didn't like it and I only just applied it to the bottom of my lash line. Going in with the brown shade, I'm applying this to my bottom lash line with a smudger brush, and then using that purple eyeshadow which I used on my lid. Then taking the BH Cosmetics HD eyeliner, I'm going to apply my top liner, and I'm also creating a quite extended winged line. It's like a felt tip liner, so it's really good at applying very precise eyeliner work, and it's very black as well, so I really like this eyeliner. Then applying my lashes. These are the Cocoa Goddess lashes. Using the Becca Ever Matte Poreless Priming Perfector, and then using my NARS Weightless Foundation just around my mouth and under my eyes, because I prefer the coverage of this foundation but not all over my face. I'm just using a damp beauty blender, and I'm also going to use it to cover those dark spots and marks on my face. And then taking the Makeup Forever HD foundation for the rest of my face. The NARS foundation gets me quite oily, so I only use it in those areas, and I always make sure I set my face afterwards because it does get quite shiny. But it's such a good foundation. It's really good coverage for people with like pigmentation and blemishes and stuff like that, but I just only use it in those areas. And then I really like using my Makeup Forever foundation. Using my foundation just to go over the areas that I applied my concealer while I was shaping my brow, just so there wasn't any halo looking lines around my brows. Then I'm going to highlight using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Fawn, and I'm just applying this under my eyes and also down the bridge of my nose and a little bit on my forehead as well, using the Real Techniques pointed foundation brush for this. Then blending it out with a dry beauty blender. I prefer using a dry one because I feel like the damp ones will shear out the concealer, and I want it to really cover my lines and deep set under eye areas. But what I've started doing as well is to apply a bit of the Urban Decay Primer Potion to those lines so that it kind of helps to kind of conceal them a little bit, and it does help. So I would recommend this if you have deep set under eye. And lately for me it still shows up even after I set it with powder, so I feel like this would help you if you have the same problem as me. Then I'm going to contour with the Black Opal Cream Foundation in the shade Suede Mocha, and I'm just going to apply this to my forehead area and also my cheekbones. This is just going to bring back the warmth to my face after all that highlighting and just make it more dimensional. I also set it with the brown shadow from the Missy Lynn palette, but I didn't show you in the video, not sure why, but that palette is very versatile for quite a lot of things really. Then I'm going to set my under eye with the Sacha Buttercup Cosmetics powder, and I'm using this pointed kabuki brush, and it really helps to kind of control how much powder you apply, and it doesn't, you know, make it too powdery and too cakey, and it's just nice and precise. Also taking it down the bridge of my nose, and also going to set my forehead as well. At this point my camera died, so I didn't show you applying my face powder. This is just going to set my whole face, and I'm using the MAC Mirror Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep. Now I'm applying my blush. This is the Sienna blush by La Femme. Now for my highlight, I'm taking that gold shade again from the palette, and guys, this is such a nice colour. It's so flattering. It gives such a nice glow to the cheeks, and I just literally had to be very generous with this. This is definitely my favourite highlight as of right now. Look at that, so pretty. So I'm going to apply it to my cupid's bow and also down the bridge of my nose. I usually only apply mascara after I've set my under eye concealer. It just makes it easier because you don't get powder all over your lashes. For my lips, I'm using the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in BFF3, and I'm just going to line the outer corner of my lips. This is really nice nude brown lip pencil. And then from the 28 Lip Colour Palette by BH Cosmetics, I'm going to take this shade and the bottom shade right here, kind of mixing it together to give a kind of nude pink colour. I'm just using a brush by Real Techniques to apply this. And I'm just going to neaten off the areas around my lips as I usually do with some concealer. And that is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!